Some of this might feel like a slap in the face. So you get to police with kindness how you receive it. Deal. Anxiety, depression, suicidality. If you're underconfident or you're feeling life's not what you want it to be, take what you want, leave what you don't. My name's Poppy. I'm a psychotherapist, psychologist, coach. I've worked for 30 years globally. I work for you. I self-regulate. We've got issues with freedom of speech in psychotherapy and psychology, so I take care of myself with my own supervisors and therapists and so on. How are you doing? It's not an easy life, this one, a lot of the time. So I'll speak as a clinician and also as a human. I've suffered a lot with anxiety, depression, suicidality, lots of stuff. I've also worked in psychiatry the first 10 years of my life. So whilst I work with all different kinds of people, what I can tell you is, what I hear most frequently from people is they say, nobody will understand this if I put words to it. People will think I'm mad, people won't relate. So if you feel on the outside of life and that what's going on in your head isn't relatable, I promise you that it is. We're just very fearful. We're very mean and judgmental. And if you're judging you, you'll be judging others. That's the way it works. We're human. So I'm a real advocate for the 2.0 of our lives. So I'll tell you a bit about how I started to get into the 2.0 of life. And it's ugly. And that often happens with transitioning. It's an ugly, painful process. And it gets to be hard because it's pretty much everything in life that's worth doing is. We get to pick our hard. It's hard to feel unfulfilled and afraid. It's hard to apply yourself and invest in getting to know you, taking you seriously, addressing the important things, finding out you're lovable, extraordinary, unique, and that nobody has what you have. Nobody has your insights, nobody has your history, nobody has your chutzpah, Yiddish term, backbone, magic. Nobody has your anything. So it's futile to compare. So if you're looking for something to help you, let's start here. Spiritual needs, we have two of them. The need for growth and the need for contribution. I did say this could feel like a slap. What I know of people who are suffering with anxiety, depression, feeling like you don't want to live, is I've never come across someone who suffers with those things who is growing. Each day, in some kind of way, bear with it, I've been to hell and back too. Creating new neural pathways in your brain. It's really important that we, as these divine, beautiful, extraordinary creatures that are very, very savvy, very resilient, we need to be learning every day in some kind of way, something that we didn't know yesterday. However small, 1% shift, I'm a fan of that, per day, in the direction of something that interests you. With what we have at our fingertips, you can learn anything online. However, we don't, because we will choose a familiar pain over an unfamiliar novelty. The brain doesn't look for what's good for us, it looks for what's familiar. So we get caught in an echo chamber, often of, I can't do it. I don't have the energy. We're over-identified often with our problem or issue. We've got to grow. I've never met someone who's suicidal, anxious and depressed, who's growing with contribution. They're contributing in some kind of way. Please be gentle with how you're hearing what I'm saying here. This is about your needs of your spirit. We need to give, to get out and make a connection so that you can have a sense of worthiness. that there's something you're doing that's supporting someone else, a greater cause than just you. Those are two things I know where people struggle. And if you're going, I am growing and I am giving, the way in which you're growing, does it feel good? Is it towards something, towards some kind of growth for you that lights you up? It's about your interests and you're something that you're wanting to leave some kind of energy signature on this planet. Growth. And are you contributing in a way that equally lights you up, that you have a sense of meaning and purpose and vision? The other is, and someone said this to me once when I wanted to kill myself. He said, build a bridge and get over yourself. Spend 24 hours in gratitude. I don't know what you're going through. I couldn't pay my rent. I couldn't eat. It was very confronting, and it wasn't the first fucking time. And I trusted him, so I did that. 24 hours in gratitude. And it was very challenging because my thoughts were on what I don't have. And that I'm crap and that, you know, all the things. I'm sure you know. This merciless self-attack. 24 hours. Would you be up for considering that? And the word "and" I'm really a fan. That we can be in our own realities that might be ugly and overwhelming and exhausting and oppressive. And we can show appreciation for some of the things we do have. Again, if you're able-bodied, if you can see, if you can hear, if you can stand, if you have access to food and water that's safe, we can be appreciative of that and not blackmail yourself. You should be grateful. I don't feel that's at all helpful. That's manipulating yourself and gaslighting yourself. However, we can be grateful for something and feeling, you know, this is scary stuff. Faith over fear. We've got love and we've got fear. And oftentimes, well, always, real faith is when we don't see any evidence. So you get to think about what you do want. And having a practice of gratitude, it's a billionaire success principle, will help you feel. I do most days 50 gratitudes before I get out of bed. And I often wake up feeling like the richest woman on the face of the earth. People, places and things. Are they good for you? 400 pills or thereabouts I took once. About 15 years ago, maybe more. I was in a complete daze looking in the mirror. I was not really on this planet. And what I heard back at me was, Poppy, you know what you haven't done, love? You haven't considered your behaviour, what you're allowing, what you're thinking about, what you're focusing on. Full-time job focusing on what's terrible and how awful you are and how you can't forgive yourself and it's abominable. Shame attack. What you're putting in your body. You haven't thought about that. What you're drinking. Who you're spending time with. The environments you're in. Everything on loop that doesn't feel good. And then you attack yourself for not being where you want to be. And you haven't even thought about where you want to be. What do you want? Hadn't thought about that. All I was focused on is what I didn't want. And it was only a few years before I'd had that same method on repeat. I'm going to lose my house. I'm going to lose my partner. I'm going to lose my job. I'm going to lose it. And I lost it all. However, I'd made a full-time job of it. I was absolutely 100% committed to manifesting everything I was scared of. Manifesting it. Full-time job. We are manifesting all the time. My question for all of us would be, are you manifesting more of what you want or more of what you don't? What you do get to do is be very loving towards yourself. in the process of your 2.0. It's uncomfortable, it's painful, it's a threshold of change that we pass through, which is to say, here it is again, that dark night of the soul that may have gone on for weeks or months or more for you. Me too. We get many of them. So I would suggest we get comfortable with discomfort, because we live on planet Earth and it's bipolar world. Night, day, black, white, happy, sad. It's rough terrain. And by the way, just to add in a bit of wow, I have it on very good authority that we're known, Earthlings, as being the toughest entities, the toughest beings in the universe. We're known for that. People that come to Earth. That's some savvy badassery, those people. Us. To come here and be part of all of this. It's the stuff of warriors. You may not feel like one. You may feel weak. You may feel vulnerable. You may feel pathetic. You may feel all manner of different things. Bearing in mind we have mixed feelings about everything. If you were to, for a second, really take a look at yourself, there will be things you've overcome that are absolutely extraordinary if you give yourself credit for the kinds of things you've been through, you've witnessed, you've seen, you've been around, you've tolerated, you've endured, and you've stayed sane for the most part, and you're still alive. That you have a life force in you that is incorruptible. And like me, you may have made some choices that aren't the greatest ones. You may have done some things that aren't the best things. However, what I will tell you is all of it is, if you choose, moments of graduation, where they simply get to be reminders of the life that you're moving away from, evolving out of, if you choose to look at it that way. Or you could choose to look at it as, like I did for 9 months, catatonic, lying on the floor, that it's unforgivable and you're terrible and it's personal to you and it affects all areas of your life and it will never change. Everything changes, everything moves. We live in a nature's world. Everything does change, it's seasonal. So you get to go very gently. So in short, spiritual needs grow and contribute. And I know it's challenging, particularly when we're stuck in me, all about me and nothing about other people. However, it never works for us to focus in on repeat. You get to consider who's hurting because you're attacking you, not loving you, judging you. Who is this hurting? Because it will be. There will be other people affected by the fact that in some kind of way you feel you're not all that. And they're witnessing you energetically in some kind of a way. Who would you like to be? What would you like to become? What would you like your life to look like? Because all of these pages in front of you, they're blank. You get to write them. It may be that you don't have what you need right now, seemingly. However, that little hid there, you can choose what you think about. You can choose your attitude. You can choose how you identify. You could choose 3 things that you like about you and build on those. Where would you like to grow? How would you like to contribute? What would you like your life to be like? You can design that. If you can get through what you've been through, you can design the rest of your life your way. 1% shift. Every single day when you put your head down tonight, if you have that luxury, you could ask yourself, what 1% shift have I made today? Good for me. And you do the same tomorrow. What 1% shift have I made? What would you like to do with this glorious, fucked up, wow, overwhelming life. Because the top regret of the dying, what people say, top regret. I wish I'd had the courage to live my life instead of the life I thought other people expected of me. If you'd like support, Thrive program, 90 days access, Thrive Boundaries Mastery, talks to you being discerning about your yeses and your nos, how to have the important conversations, how to love and respect yourself, how to deal with the things that trigger you. The triggers are the guides. You're very welcome to take it with my love. It was nearly £300 not long ago, and we decided, me and all of my personalities, decided you get to have access to what's taken me. It took me 40 years to understand that stuff, so I put that program together a few years ago. You get to have it, and you can pledge what you would like to spend on you learning how to thrive at your optimum. So it's a pleasure to be able to share it with you. I'm still here because I listened to that voice when I had 400 pills and thereabouts in my stomach. You know what you could try, Poppy? It's what I heard. Is taking responsibility for what you're doing. What you're putting in your mouth, what's coming out of your mouth. People, places and things. Are they good for you? Are they pro you? And if they're not, then you could look at that before you leave the planet. You could have a look at the things you're allowing. And if they are pro you or against you, you could do that and see where you end up. And here I am with you. And I hope it's helpful for you too. Lots of love. Please go gently. We don't know what we don't know until we do know. So any of the stuff that you don't like, you can use it as a reminder of the life that you're shifting and changing and evolving out of. Threshold of change now. I would get yourself a talisman, some kind of emblem, some kind of something that can mark a threshold here of change, where you get to take yourself seriously and ask yourself what you would like the rest of your life to look like, and one small place that you're going to begin. You get to be very choosy about who gets to be with you in your close inner circle. And if there are a lot of people who in some kind of way are draining you, overwhelming you, they've got heavy stuff going on in their life, then you get to choose who you put into your life to help it be life-giving. We can do anything pretty much in this life with a map, a plan, and a guide. So take Thrive Boundaries Mastery with my love. If you'd like to join us on TikTok on Sundays, we do Sunday Soul Cleanse. You're very welcome. If you're a subscriber, you can ask all kinds of questions. I have other programs too. The Awakening. In January, we kick off Evolution, my inner circle coaching group. And equally, there's plenty of free content here. Take it. Use it. Just be very gentle. How are we supposed to know any of this stuff until we do? So maybe now's your time too. Send in love.